Good morning. My name is Jeri Zowja-Malik, and I'm from Oakland Adult and Career Education.
And I'm Suzanne Ludlum from Oakland Adult and Career Education, and I teach GED preparation and family literacy. I've been at my site for 17 years.
And I recently joined Oakland, and I've been teaching GED prep for 3 years. And I come from independent studies and site-based teaching for 15 years. And I would like to thank our director, Suzanne. She's one of the main reasons why I'm here. She suggested that I apply to OTAN for the Visual Leadership Academy. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure to be among the first graduates of the academy.
Yes.
So Oakland Adult and Career Education has been around over 145 years. And during that time, our peak population was about 18,000. Is that correct? I've been told. And until we had the boom, the cuts from California, and we dwindled down to literally almost nothing. So we're on the rise. It's a new day for Oakland, and that's our principal Supan's favorite saying. And currently this year, we have approximately 1,200 students that attend our adult school. And we are a satellite school. That means that we have locations throughout Oakland. Our main locations are at Oakland Unified School District elementary schools, and we work with community organizations also. We service GED classes, college and career readiness pathway programs, ESL, family literacy, and project search, which is a job training program for disabled adults.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about our students. They're probably like a lot of our students across California, mostly working class, low income, people of color. We have many immigrants and newcomers in Oakland Adult Education. That means we have a lot of ESL and English language learners. It's a very urban community. And the majority of our students are parents with children in OUSD. I would like to just point out we do have a technology distance learning plan that we do every year, and I'm responsible for that. In 2016-17, the GED Fast Track was our #1 objective, which, as you will hear, we did meet that objective. And for this year, project-based learning was our primary objective in that plan.
So I was teaching site-based program for GED at my location. Our program allows ongoing open enrollment. So what that means is that students can come in anytime to the GED, to our GED program. So what to serve the students and meet the needs where they're at, because they have to pass a total of 4 tests in order to get their certificate. And students need different materials at different times. And since we have ongoing enrollment, people's needs are different. So I set up a site of blended learning classroom. And I had small instruction going on, and I had some individual personalized learning also going on. So because I was doing this, and my background as an independent studies teacher gave me some experience with online programs and resources. Suzanne approached me one day and said, oh, you know what, you'd probably be a good fit for the OTAN Digital Academy program. And I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. I would love to do that. And so my goal for the Digital Learning Academy was to create a distance learning program kind of modeled on my site-based program for GEDs, but specifically target students that we currently were serving. The target for the GED Fast Track was high school students who had left high school, students who have left high school the last 3 to 4 years, and also working class people who didn't have time to come to a site-based class. So with that, the model is based on individualized learning and with teacher support. So some of the we actually had a great online program called, I think it was DL 101 by Deal. And through their program, I actually learned how to design an online class from A through Z because everything was very broad. And with that, the core components that I came up with for the online program was in-person orientation, online homeroom, online curriculum, video conferencing, and computer and phone and online supplemental materials and regular communications with my students. And I'll talk a little bit more about that on this page. So what I ended up doing is I set up a Google website, and this was the main port through which my students access the materials. And the idea is for them to come to the orientation, take an assessment, figure out what their needs were, their individual needs were in order to pass the core test. So everyone had their own program. We called it the next step. I would give them a set of lessons, and then once they finished that, I'd give them the next set of lessons until they passed the test. So they would come here, they would check on important announcements, they could click on it, goes to the page, announcements, important dates, test dates were there. They can go right to Ask Tech with one button. They can check on their GED if they need to sign up for a test or go and see the results. They can just do that through the website. Also here, you can barely see it, there are subjects for GED are posted here, and if they needed extra supplemental videos on different contents besides aspects, they can also go to those sites. There's a slew of vetted YouTube videos that they can see for different subjects that you have to study in order to pass each level. In addition to that, I think the most important thing was communication. We're doing distance learning programming, is communication. And one of the many ways that I try to stay in touch with students was I used this tech tool called Screencastify, which allowed me to actually create videos where the students can see my face and hear my voice. They can also see my desktop. So I can explain simple directions, like students, once they do it once in orientation, we show them how to access the site, we show them how to do some technical stuff. They have a video. I followed up with a video, so they can watch a 3 to 4 minute video showing them exactly what I want to do, and they can replay it over and over until they understand the step-by-step steps. So that really came in handy. I can also give feedback to students through a little mini video, and they can watch the video and use it. We also implemented using Zoom, which is a conference, video conferencing program, and I had a few meetings where students would come and we would check in all together. That didn't really work because of my population, but it's definitely a handy communication tool to use. And Remind came in handy because it's a text messaging system where you can text all of the people in the class at once. It's in the reminders about upcoming test dates. You can also put out announcements or anything pertinent, encouragement for them to be encouraged. One of the other things that I did was I allowed my students to make in-person appointments. So if they're working on Aztec, I give them the next step. They don't understand the concept, I send them to the video, just the video for them to watch. They still don't understand the concept. They can actually make an appointment with me, and I would meet with them one-on-one and try to break down whatever barriers they had. And all these ideas were generated here at DLAC. So the technical tools they gave us are tools that I can use for a lifetime, and it only enhances the students' ability to learn the material. So here's the recent data for the fast track class. We actually piloted a class in the summer. I completed a whole year of DLAC, and then that summer I piloted the fast track class. We started out with 8 to 10 students, and now it is actually an official class, and I've been running that class this year. So overall statistics is that I had 7 additional orientations. We serviced about 37 students. We have 5 graduates, and you can see the other statistics there. The most important thing that I want to highlight is that through this program and having an online program, in Oakland we have a huge community of students that go to alternative ed. And we wanted to create partnerships with CEOs or community-based organizations, and one of them that we created a partnership was called Community Day School. This is a school that's alternative high school for students. And we had one student, who's a 19-year-old, who went to this school since he was in 9th grade. He actually, during his 9th grade, he actually never went to a regular public high school. And he got tracked into alternative school because he was in and out of juvie and had issues moving forward. So he is approximately a 19-year-old student. We'll call him Mr. G. And he, my vice principal, Kim Jones, actually set up an informational. He went there and told them about our distance learning program. And this guy was the heckler while he was making the announcements. But our vice principal, Kim Jones, actually started from GD and made his way all the way up there. So he actually ended up enrolling in the class, and he, with targeted assessments and targeted instruction, he actually obtained his GED in 2 months, and he now works with UPS because he has a high school diploma. And he plans on moving to LA to live some time.
Well, during the 2 years of DLAC, we also had other goals that we were working on. One of my favorite was innovation and creativity in adult education. Some of you all have heard my presentation on that. We have been for quite a few years working on technology integration, but we're trying to pump that up and actually assess if technology integration is happening in our program, and how are there outcomes that we can connect to that technology integration. And every year we develop the technology distance learning plan focused on some form of blended learning. In the second year of DLAC, which we were able to look at project-based learning, which was really is a passion of mine. I didn't really know a lot about it, but due to the time that I was afforded, I delved really deeply into like a lot of the gold standard I always talk about, and actually what I really loved about this is that the OA's professional development goal was essentially project-based learning, from turning our students from consumers of knowledge to producers of knowledge. And it is our #1 objective for our TDLP for this year. Jeri and I, in link with this process, this commitment, we did a training for all teachers. It was a PD day for in Oakland Unified, and so we did I call it a plenary about the how-tos of PBL, the gold standard, the small steps you can take to get PBL going in your classroom. And then there was afternoon sessions where other teachers got involved in talking about what kind of PBL they were implementing in their classrooms. And right now, I'm working on a tool to assess the implementation of project-based learning in our program. Basically, trying to ascertain did teachers actually move forward with small steps toward integrating PBL and OAs. One of the beautiful things is that out of my efforts in my GED classroom to ask students what their passion is, one student, Zowja-Malik, said, she works in a child care center. She wants to learn how to help kids, how to teach parents how to help their kids. And at the same time, Patricia Jackson is another GED teacher who has decades of experience in parent education. And she has students interested in the same topic. So we are creating a project that's going to be called GED, PBL, and a Developing Child. And we'll be presenting that project at the National Center for Families Learning in September. So I'm excited about that. We're going to talk about our
some of the challenges for the distance learning program is we had the idea of setting orientations every 6 weeks. We didn't quite meet our goal. This year, moving forward, we plan on having those dates selected ahead of time. The issue was location and at night. Most of the parents and most of the participants can only attend at night, so we just had to vet places to have orientation. And the other thing that became a problem is that managing student interest. So on the flyer and announcements for organizing for going out about GED, my email was on the flyer, so I would get mails, emails from people, and I didn't really have the time or the resources to actually send a reply back to everyone. So we developed a generic OESD online, GD online email that the administrative office works with, and so they can just send them the dates for the orientation, and they can get immediate information. So participants and retention was an issue for me also in terms of, I think I had over, even though we had 37 participants, probably over 70 people came to the orientation. So I think it also, for my class, a lot of the expectations and requirements were optional. So looking forward in the new year, I think I'm going to make them mandatory instead of optional. Because if you make something optional, it's not going to happen. So mandatory, and I feel like I wanted to keep it flexible for this particular population, but yet give them structure. So I'm going to have to be tough and make some mandatory things happen.
And we also want to do more teacher training on best practices of blended learning and innovation in the context of distance learning. So because of the work that Jeri did with GD Fast Track, we've embraced and I'm talking primarily about teachers, especially have embraced this idea of a very robust distance learning, blended learning set of programs for all our different pathways. One that we're working on right now is maybe looking at Schoolology for an ESL online blended learning that would be hand in hand with ESL classes. I'm personally working on a Burlington English pilot for blended learning.
And this summer, I'm actually going to pilot a blended learning high school diploma class, and with a partnership again with Oakland Alternative Education. So that's it.
And we are very thankful to DLAC and OTAN for all the workshops and technology tips that we were able to soak up while we were here.
Now, this was a very wonderful opportunity to be on the cutting edge of technology and education, and everything that we learned definitely improves the services we provide to our students. And the other thing that OTAN did is they had excellent accommodations for us. Reimbursements also.
And so we're going to go through this really quickly. We're going to continue our efforts to build robust distance learning and blended learning programs in all our programs. We would like a mentoring program for teachers to help so that we could start sharing in a more intentional way technology integration strategies. Encourage teachers to empower their students with project-based learning and 20% time, even if it needs those small steps. And Jeri, do you want to say that?
Yeah, we're going to embrace the idea of setting up a long-term technology integrated program, maybe a 3-year plan, like what do we want to focus on for the next 3 years, and how are we going to get there? What equipment do we need in order to do that? To make that part of our program.
So in ending, thank you. Thanks to everyone who put this program, the DLAC program, together and kind of shepherded us through.
Yes.
And all of you all who shared your tips and tools and smiles and friendship with us.
Yes, and a special thanks to Sue Pond, who encouraged us to come here and apply to the program, and also supported us in our endeavors throughout.
Thank you.
Thank you.